Commissioners meeting for May 30th. And the first item on the agenda is public comments. Anyone have public comments? Yes.
Yesterday I came to request minutes of the IT committee.
Right.
And I wasn't aware that those were sealed minutes. It was a committee meeting, and I was told that it had to pass by you in order for me to get a copy of those minutes.
We're checking with the attorney to see if that has to be done. It wasn't a commissioners meeting, it was a committee meeting. Whether that's public knowledge, we're just checking with the attorney to make sure.
Was the committee started, asked to be formed by the commissioners?
Yes.
Well, that's sort of kind of like the planning board was asked by the selectmen, etc.
Well, it's a little different because they have to come back to the commissioners for anything that they want to do.
The minutes. Have you seen the minutes?
No, I have not.
So you had minutes that you haven't reviewed. The committee has already gone away, but you have not seen those committee meetings.
I have not.
The contract, I was unable to get a copy of that contract that was signed on April 4th.
Right.
Due to the fact that you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, the contract?
And
yeah.
I was concerned with that statement because of the fact that you had signed it but you hadn't seen it.
No.
In reviewing that contract, there is no escape clause in that contract. I'm concerned about that as a taxpayer.
Mm-hmm.
Any contract that the town of Ossipee does, we always have an escape clause in it, which was thankful with our assessing board, because due to that escape contract, we were able to correct some things that were not done within the contract.
Right.
There is no escape clause in that contract.
The escape clause in the contract is it's subject to delegation funding. If the delegation doesn't fund it from one year to the next, it's canceled.
That doesn't state that within the contract. Is
that
a well-known fact? Usually it has to be black ink on white paper.
It's in the contract. So all contracts, especially where it goes more than 1 year, is always subject to delegation approval. We can't commit the delegation. Even the union contracts, they approve that, the delegation does, for a 2-year or 3-year contract. That's their responsibility. So if they don't fund it from 1 year to the next, then the contract is void.
Then why was a 3-year contract signed? That's a 3-year contract, I do believe. I had to read it quickly because I couldn't take it out of the office.
Yes, it is. But I think also that the delegation knew that it was a 3-year contract. In fact, Representative Schmidt from Wolfboro said that it should be more than 1 year. It should be a 2 or 3-year contract at a delegation meeting. I'm sure I'd have to go back and look at the minutes to make sure it is recorded that he said that.
But it wasn't a vote of the entire board of delegates.
I'd have to look at the minutes.
When can I receive a copy of that signed contract?
You did look at a contract, right?
I would like to have a copy in my hand so I could read it more in depth.
Okay. Ask him downstairs. I'll tell him that you can have a copy of the contract.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Ed?
I heard this morning from my neighborhood, Colby told me that there was a lawsuit or a grievance filed between somebody from the nursing home and you and Commissioner Solomon. Can you tell me something about that, if you know anything about it?
We are checking with our attorney regarding that contract, regarding that grievance.
So there is a grievance.
There is a grievance, but it wasn't followed proper channels.
Okay.
So we're just checking to make sure that the individual can grieve directly to us.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else for public comment? Yes, Mr. Brown.
I was wondering, Commissioner Solomon, have you found those bids in your hip pocket yet?
I thought you had gotten them already.
No, I've yet to receive them. And now there's questions whether there are any.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Questions about what?
as to whether there are even any, or there were any bids, or are any bids.
Oh.
Because if you read your minutes of last week, it's so, the first three paragraphs are so contradictory. First it says there's bids, then it says there isn't, and then at the end it says there are. So, I mean, this is going on. I put a 91A request in for this for what? We're going 3 weeks, if not a month?
Could you, for the listening audience, the bids in regards to what?
The bids in regards to the $15,000.
15,000. Is this
for the plans of the renovation of the old nursing home.
Okay. The 15,000. The 15,000 was granted by the delegation for the old nursing home. Half of that amount was spent with EGA, which was $7,500, and the remaining was to go to Bonapage and Stone. That was done by the delegation and not by us.
Right there presents itself a problem, because that's not the delegation's duty to put something out to bid. That's your duty.
That's right. They approved the balance to go to Bonapage and Stone.
But it would still have to go out to bid.
Okay.
By RSA.
All right.
Well, all right, so did it go out for bid or didn't it go out for bid?
We're talking about it over almost 2 years ago now. They can't find. They've been looking for it in the vault. Can't find anything.
Can't find it?
No.
Well, that's a matter of that's a public record, and you need to retain that public record.
We're looking for it.
Well, this is going on close to, like I said, 3 weeks or a month. State law requires it to be done in 5 business days.
A response in 5 business days. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If it takes longer for us to find it, then that's reasonable. A reasonable time to find a document.
Yes, but it's also reasonable to reduce that to writing, so that there is a paper trail, so that another month down the road, I'm not here asking the same question like I have been for, how long we've been going on bids now? For 8 months? And it's the same thing over and over and over again.
Okay.
So I'm now requesting a paper trail. So when I put a 91A in, if you can't get it to me within 5 business days, I'm requesting a response in writing.
Okay.
And if that's, you need more time, fine, but I'm requesting it in writing.
We apparently, our secretaries downstairs have been looking for it, and I don't know, I didn't get a report from them whether they found it or what, but I will check with them and make sure that we will get you something.
And in response to the young lady's discussion here about an escape clause is that the delegation does not need to fund the contract. You would find yourself in a heap of legal problems if Cybertron, they didn't renew his contract. Well, we have to have someone else. If they replace Cybertron with another company within that 3-year period. So that's not an escape clause. That's up to the delegation. That's certainly not an escape clause. So, I mean, if that's what your definition of an escape clause is, we have some major problems with writing contracts.
Well, like I said, anything over a year is subject to funding by the delegation. We have no control over that.
Right, but if like I said, if you signed a 3-year contract,
right.
If you replace Cybertron within that 3 years with another company,
yeah,
you're going to get hit with a lawsuit.
It would be subject to the delegation funding. If they at next year say we're not going to fund that Cybertron contract, then that's the end of that contract.
But if you replace,
then we'd have to put it out for bid again
But
to hire somebody else if they approve some funds for
But
it.
without an escape clause in the contract, if that were to happen, I bet there's gonna be a lawsuit, another lawsuit against the county.
Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Well, maybe we need to have an attorney look at these contracts.
The attorney, our attorney did look at that contract.
He did look
He
at it.
did look at the contract.
And there's no escape clause.
All contracts now are going through him.
And there's no escape clause.
Not what she's talking about.
Well, that's what I'm talking about too.
Right.
The IT contract. There's
Yep.
no escape, and for any contract for that matter, there should be an escape clause that protects the taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Okay. Point taken. Anybody else got any public input? Asha called in, Commissioner Kenny called in, said she was running late. She wasn't feeling well this morning, so she'll be here, I think she said at 9:30. While we're waiting for Will, because we belong to the New Hampshire Association of Counties, we have available to us, oh, here's Will. We'll do Will now. I'll get back to that. Will, come on up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a couple of quick. First thing, we've finished the sawdust and the blueberries. Joe, our part-time employee, myself, came in Monday, worked all Monday to finish that up. And then working on getting the water lines set up for the blueberries. We got them laid out. I had to yesterday go and purchase a few more hose clamps. We always have to have some of those, keep that done. So we're hoping this week to get that done. Working on the lawn mowing. It seems to be a non-ending battle with the grass and all the rain and sunshine we've been getting.
Right.
So the guys are out. We're doing some today, so it's a little wet out, so we haven't started mowing this morning. I've had the guys out fixing some areas. For example, the main island, the big island out here, they didn't seed. There was a big section in there they didn't seed. So the guys this morning are laying down a coat of loam out there and are going around seeding, and hopefully we'll have, I think we have a little mulch left to lay down to help keep the seed down.
Okay.
So we're just trying to go around and beautify a few areas as we have time.
Can you fix up this spot that is between this building and the nursing home, where you dump the mulch?
Yep.
Can that get cleaned up, or can it, or just mulch it?
The whole,
rather than
all the way
seed
down.
it, or just mulch it so you don't have to mow it?
Yep.
Just clean it up,
right,
like you're saying you're doing?
That was on our agenda.
Okay.
Being it's kind of behind the building and in the woods, it's been lower on the priority list, to be honest. But that is, I do want to do something with it, because the way it is right now, we can't even get a mower really in there. And the because I don't know if it was because of the trailers and all the work that was placed back here, but that last couple of feet of the pavement has really cracked and whatnot. So at some point we may have to either look at cutting it all out so we can make it where it's bad, cutting it all out and redoing it, or packing some gravel there or something, because it's got these chunks of pavement, and when you're plowing they come up and they go in the yard and the mowers and everything. So it is an area that we need to do, and it is on our list. It just hasn't been as high a priority right now.
Okay. I think any place where you can use the mulch, as long as it looks good and it doesn't have to be mowed,
right,
it may save you some time.
Yep.
Okay.
Working on some maintenance things in the water and the sewer department. Nothing major, just some usual things that need to be maintenance things that need to be done every so often. Almost have all the not all done yet, but almost with all the dirt work on the pole barn. Had some stuff brought in, and we've been packing that down. I got a few more loads that need to come in, and then our next step will be digging the holes, putting the sonotubes in, getting concrete to start building on that. Working on pulling out the hay equipment out of the barn. hopefully everything's good. I generally try to make it a practice to do all the maintenance and wash and wax the machinery up before we put it in the barn for the winter time. So I'm hoping that as it comes out, we'll be in good shape. And then we're just hoping for some good weather to get started on the haying.
Yeah.
The hay's starting to look pretty good. It's some areas it's not as tall as I had hoped. I've heard that reports from some other farmers around the state. But it's heading out, and so you know it's ready to be cut.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for the good weather to be able to start doing that. And that's pretty much the other thing. We're working on the garden. I wanted to have that. My goal was to have it in this week, but this rain that we had yesterday kind of threw us off because it's wet down there, and it's going to be hard to get in there and rototill with it being as wet as it is. So hoping by the end of the week we can get in there, get it all prepped, and either this weekend or first of next week I'll start with the planting.
Planting, yeah. How's your seedlings doing?
Good. They took a little beating last night. We put them out
outside.
Well, we put them out to start hardening them off.
Yeah.
And we thought yesterday would be a cloudy day. It's not real hot, real cold. It'd be a good day to start doing that. And then last night with the rain, the peppers are okay, but the tomatoes, because they were getting kind of tall and leggy anyways, took a little beating. But I think the tomatoes bounced back pretty good.
You can plant them a little deeper.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomatoes anyway.
So I think they'll be fine. I think we just need to get them in the ground.
Okay.
And that's all I had. If there was any other questions.
All your people have taken vacation time, so they're available for haying?
Yeah, I just got one back from vacation. He was on vacation last week.
Yeah.
So for the most part, nobody's put in for any vacations really, so we should be in pretty good shape. The guys usually know that once that time, you know, after Memorial Day, to keep it very limited in what they ask for. They're very good about it.
Okay, good. Any questions?
No.
Ash, you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Will.
Good, thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, just one question. How are the pigs doing?
Good. They're growing and looking good. Getting to be, they're eating and drinking on their own now. I mean, still on the mom, but they're eating and drinking also, and probably driving the moms nuts to what I see. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Bob, you're on next. Good morning. Oh, okay.
And these are the two bids that you handed me last week. So what I've got for you today is there were a couple of questions that were brought up about the wood pellet RFP last week. Questions regarding overages and underages, questions regarding supply chain in the event of catastrophe at the source plant.
Yeah.
And I sent the questions out to the 4 respondents of the RFP, and they were all answered. Maine Woods Pellets. I'm just going to go through these each. Maine Woods Pellets gave us a bid of $167 a ton undelivered.
Yep.
And they're unable to deliver to New Hampshire this season. That being said, I would not recommend them for the contract. Jesse Lyman Company of Conway, New Hampshire, gave us a bid of $251 a ton delivered. They have a 9-ton capacity truck. It's a smaller truck. Their price reflects the fact that they have a small truck and have higher transportation costs. They were able to honor the contract price over and under, and they have the ability to pull from alternate sources in the event of their primary source failure. Being the high bid, they're also not recommended.
Okay.
Woodpellets.com, Bedford, New Hampshire, gave us a price of 215 tons delivered. They have a 20-ton capacity truck. Over and underage would be based on current market value plus delivery price. So in other words, once we were over...
So it could be higher than...
Could be higher, could be lower.
Okay.
Over and under. And they also have the ability to pull from alternate sources. The fact that their price is in the middle range. Their 20-ton truck is ideal, but the fact that they're not guaranteeing a price over or under, I would not recommend them for the contract.
Okay.
Lastly, Sandry Energy out of Greenfield, Massachusetts. They gave us basically 2 different prices. One price based on a 20-ton truck at $210 a ton delivered, and a 30-ton truck, $200 a ton delivered. They're able to honor the contract price over or under, and they're also able to pull from alternate sources in the event of a primary source failure. I would recommend Sandry Energy for the contract based on the price and their ability to fulfill the contract.
Did we get a bid from Jaffrey, New Hampshire?
They are the manufacturer, period.
They don't deliver?
No. Jesse Lyman, no, not Jesse Lyman, excuse me, woodpellets.com and Sandry Energy use those pellets made
Okay.
in Jaffrey,
Okay.
which is New England Wood Pellets. Both of those companies were going to deliver the same product. I find it curious that the company from Greenfield, Massachusetts can do it at a lower price than the company from New Hampshire, but you know, that being said, they can, and they're offering to do it at a respectable price.
And it's all based on 400 ton.
400 tons.
But if they continue, if we use up the 400 ton, they would honor the same
They would
price.
honor the same price, correct.
Okay. Anybody have any questions regarding the bids? Anybody want to make a motion that we,
Just because
Take his
over and under
recommendation.
means is regards the, whether you need the full tonnage or not?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, over or under. Over if we use more than the 400 tons by the end of the contract, and then the same, the opposite if we don't use it. If we end up using 300 tons, they're not going to hold us liable for the remainder of the contract.
in the contract date, what do we have for?
Well, it hasn't been set up as a contract yet. You're not signing a contract.
Okay.
The contract is yet to be written, which is going to include all the particulars of the RFP, and we can choose
Okay.
whatever we want based on the timeline that we have in front of us. I would suggest.
How long was this out for bid in the paper?
I don't know how long it was out in the paper, but
So we had only 4 coming in, huh?
only
That's
4
it?
respondents. It went out to over 12 companies. There's a very limited number of companies that are available to do it.
Oh, it was sent only to the companies?
No, it was advertised as well. So call it a double. I did some research and found all the companies that were capable of delivery, and everybody got an invitation.
So 12 companies and 4 only responded?
Yeah, I don't know if 12 is the exact number, but yeah, but yes, only 4 responded. And the bid was out for about a month before the deadline.
There was plenty of time.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, then the next step is to get a contract from
Next
them.
step is for the
All we're going
contract.
to do is select the company,
Correct.
and then you'll follow it up and get a contract?
Correct.
Okay.
Do you have their proposal from Sandry Energy?
Right here.
Do you have it? Okay.
And I have a copy of the email responses that I got from a couple of the companies that you're certainly welcome to have. also the final stages of bringing the pellet boilers online is happening today.
Today?
Yeah. The balancing company is here. The control company is here. The installer is here. The plumbers are here.
Okay.
And they're doing everything it takes. And I'm going to be undergoing training today on pellet boilers.
Okay.
Again, I invite anybody to come down and take a look any day but today. Today's going to be a busy day in there, and I'm going to be focused. But if you want to come down,
So they're starting up both boilers?
Both boilers, and the goal is at the end of today we'll be making hot water for the nursing home.
And get off propane?
And get off propane, correct.
Okay. You ready to make a motion to accept?
No, I'm not ready for that. I just want to read through it.
Point of order.
Yeah.
Is the over-under language going to be in the contract? Specifically in the contract, if we only use 300 tons, we will not be contractually obligated to buy the other 100?
Oh yeah, all that.
That's all going to be in there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who's going to write up the contract again?
I would ask your direction.
Oh.
Does the fire chief have to inspect that, or?
Yes, the fire chief will be here, the building inspector will be here.
Are we ready to select the company to supply the bid?
I'm not ready to select that, so if you want to do it, I'm not going with it. Need some more time for that.
We had the contract for a week to look at.
We have 10 tons of pellets to burn.
Yep, okay.
Do we check references on these companies before we issue a contract, like Sundry? Do we know if they're...
Sandry has given a list of references in their package, so if anyone wishes...
Is this that package?
Yeah, right.
Because
I think on one of the last pages you'll find a list of references. And if anyone is compelled to check the references, go ahead.
I will check
Can we
it
do
out.
that before contract?
I thought we were merely voting on accepting their bid.
We're accepting the company, they have to put the contract together.
That's what I'm saying.
And then we would sign that contract.
Yes, that's
and
what I'm
approve
saying.
that.
So we're not accepting the contract at this moment.
Right.
We're
No,
merely
we don't have a
accepting the bid.
contract.
Right. And the contract would be written up and again proposed in public session.
All we would do is make a motion to accept Bob Murray's recommendation.
And at which point I would go forward and consult with whatever guidance you give me for an attorney to write a contract.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move then to accept the bid from Sandry Energy.
You want to make a motion that we accept Bob Murray's recommendation? Okay.
Of Sandry Energy, LLC, Greenford, Mass.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
I'm opposed. I'm going to check out the references and some more about this company.
Okay.
Do you have any particular reason to be worried about the company?
Then the motion carries, so
Well, I didn't say I'm worried. I just
I
want
thought you
to
just
see-
said that.
It's a new company, so I want to check it out.
That's fine. I just thought I heard you say you were worried about the company.
okay. So you follow up on it?
Which direction do I go now for writing a contract?